often the enemy jungler is ganking. Do they get in his face? How long you're going to take on your first clear. He knows all these timers, and usually his setup is to come and try and attack you in your jungle. We've seen those crazy level 3 invades where he sits in brush inside those games in the last series when these two teams faced off. The type of thing we're going to have to continue tracking later on in the series, because
you see the matchup when you see the comps. So what does this mean going forward? Kaiser does manage to connect to that Zenith Blade. Actually ends up coming a little worse for wear in that trade. Mickey's still got a lot of mana to play with. Will be able to heal up Caps over time. And this wave pushing, not a big surprise. Similarly, Perks and Wonder shoving in mid and top respectively. Which down, condemn into the wall, could be very valuable. I haven't seen if it's been used yet. That's a tumble forward. Flash, no. Level 3 not achieved yet. Now Mickey is going to keep chasing forward. It's a double kill to the Vayne. I hadn't noticed there was no condemn available as Caps was only level 2. But Humanoid's trying to put some pressure on Perks. He's got a Knight available. Is there enough cooldowns? And the answer is no. GG go next. Double kill Vayne.
I mean, it's looking grim down there in the bot lane. G2 opened game 1 in this series with a statement right there. Jankos being able to find the move down towards the bot side. There just wasn't the vision there to enable Carzzy and Kaiser to push on up. So teleport plays for all of it. We'll watch this one more time because both bot lanes level 2. The lane froze in a perfect position here where Carzzy has to overextend to go for the last hit, and there's not much you can do. Even as Ezu with a flash and a dash, when you're that far down the lane, you are just going to be chased down.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the synchronized emotes as well. True teamwork on the side of G2. As we watch this player on the top, I want to ask a question around Carzzy and Kaiser being that pushed forward, full clears on both sides. Like, is that a good play from Jankos, or is that, poor setup on Carzzy and Kaiser's side?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, right? Okay. Because, and keep it a little bit more time, when they knew their jungler was bot side, well, walk in and steal away a blue buff, and even that he wasn't successful for. So it was just a little bit of a team difference right there, and Kaiser and Carzzy got punished.
They did indeed. Now Caps and Mickey are being jumped on. The tumble is going to allow them. So if at any point Shadow decides to start chasing him down, or a humanoid flank jumps in his face, that exhaust could prove hugely valuable in the mid to late stages of the game.
No, absolutely. As soon as he gets that Blade of the Ruined King, like, he becomes down towards mid, because Caps is going to be fine against
minutes or two. And while we just got a quick respite, I want to just draw attention to plus assists at 15. The reason it looks close is because of how dominant Jankos was against Origin. More than double the average deaths of 15. Goal difference negative as opposed to positive. Jankos was one of the let's say, biggest offenders of being outplayed. And it's a combination of him not showing up, but also a lot of credit to Shadow for being ready for what Jankos was going to do.
Yeah, Mike, I think the problem was that he did show up. He showed up to too many things. Jankos was super greedy in that series, and the whole best of 5 was almost defined by people being over-aggressive from both teams, right? And Jankos did it more often than others in that series. We may be gearing up for another move around the bot side as Shadow pops on over the wall, but Jankos is lying in wait.
Yeah, I think Shadow may have just become visible. I didn't see on the observer side. We'll toggle back to God Mode Vision in a moment, and he does back away. And the reason we are doing a lot of focus on these two players is Shadow and the Mad Lions. Oh, all that thought is Humanoid does a lot of damage onto Perks. Flash still available teams.
Does know what's going on, but because Perks just went back to base and doesn't have the teleport, it can only be a steal attempt.
And he gets it! He's done it! He gets the Infernal Drake! Doesn't manage to get out, but I think probably worth in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, so long-term worth, short-term pain for Caps down bot side, but again, Caps already has 2 kills, so when you look at that matchup, it's still going to be very comfortable for him. So G2 are going to say, yeah, perfect, we'll take that objective upside where they can look for a game. Blitz this one down, it does look like
fairly consistently throughout the course of the game. He's got that cull. Expectation-wise from how Wonder's set and Aroma's GP should play out the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think Mad Lions are going to be perfectly happy with that one, where Aroma can just farm up. Tower plates are going to be going down at a very similar pace, while Mad Lions were also able to secure the where it's never going to be focused around him.
While Shadow was making his way top to put some pressure on Wonder, he pays respect, sitting way back in the lane. Rift Herald has now cleared out. Tower First Blood picked up, being jumped on here. Kaiser Solar Flare is available, but Jankos was relatively close, and Mad Lions decide against it. Kaiser's got those boots of mobility. Blanc. I think there's going to be some pressure on Kaiser to help set up his team. As
than the series between G2 and Mad last time, but that's not without Mad Lions looking for plays themselves. It's just G2 have been showing a lot more respect this time around, not running into a fight around the Rift Herald, instead saying, hey, we actually would prefer to have more time to get the Azir items that are better than Mercury Treads, finish off the Blade of the Ruined King and all this for the Vayne as well. So they decided to trade some pressure. That means they do lose the first tower, and Mad Lions do have a little bit later on when it comes to the team fights and actually finding their proper setup for the fight, and look for like almost mini skirmishes where Ezreal can just be hitting one target, dashing around. They can drive a wedge in the middle of G2's 5v5 and split them into the smaller pieces.
I'm so happy to see the opening of this game. You know, a lot of fans, analysts, obviously expecting G2 to be the heavy favorites, much like they were last time. And this is, I think, was a fairly obvious bait, as now Jankos has arrived. The chapter has been thrown down, and Kaiser's been locked up. He's still got Flash available. Cannon Barrage was used as well, so a number of ultimates. But Jankos and Shadow, this is a 5-man dive. If the Zenith Blade connects, somebody will die. Jankos, Caps, and of course Mickey flying on Caps. They've been able to escape for now.
Yeah, as soon as the wave starts diminishing and a couple of Mad Lions players start backing up, here we go for the fight, though. Teleport in from Wonder.
You can't get away with the Vayne passive as well as the Yuumi slows. That's a flash forward from Caps. He continues to chase down. That's not going to be enough to stun Kazi, as now Mad Lions are full-on retreating. The Emperor's Divide holds Kazi in place, and the teleport nets them 2 quick kills.
Yeah, Mad Lions just got baited right there so hard. G2 was like letting them have their time. It's like, oh yeah, don't worry, you can control the entire jungle. But as soon as Humanoid walked back into mid lane, Wonder pulled the trigger. Caps dove in there with that Vayne Yuumi combo, and there was no escape, as you said. Look at it. Caps diving on forward because G2 know they're the ones that can rotate into this fight first. Looks like Jankos even followed Kaiser through the flash there, so was able to get some extra damage. The silver bolts to finish off the kill on towards Kaiser. Of course, after the flash ultimate to pick off Karzi, it also turns into the second Drake of game for G2 because Jankos was able to
those Berserker's Greaves. And yes, Mad Lions 15 minutes of gameplay. Mad Lions just cannot afford to lose some control of this game and allow G2.
Bit of a worry towards me, as you can see, G2 are just going to be running at people on where they're not all fully committing towards the play. That worries me because, wait a second, Roman's just walking in. What is he doing?
Oh, I have no idea. We need to see some vision on that. Like, why would you just walk in? I do not understand what just happened.
That just can't happen. It's a semifinals. You're one best of 5 away from going to the finals tomorrow, and you run underneath the tower. Mad Lions making critical mistakes here against G2. Yes, they've been playing the map well as a team on the way up.
It's too early.
But he's way too far away. Like, this is one of those things that in a VOD review you just say, yeah, I was trolling. There's nothing else you can learn from this other than it was just objectively the wrong decision.
Oh, man. Thought the support was going to be there quicker than it was. 4-0-1. Another recurve. Mad Lions, they are still trying to really land a blow. They have picked up at least 1 kill. But it was donated. It was when Jankos went to steal the dragon. So what can we see from Mad Lions in this? Was the word used, wonky team comp to set up the play. They got themselves 2 kills for 1. And they got themselves a teleport out of perks as well.
Well, that's exactly what they needed to be looking for. When I say picks with the LeBlanc plus the Leona right there.
They got themselves 2. Crucially, Caps gets into some trouble. He throws down the cleanse. Now he's rolling and tumbling and ducking around. Silver bolts won't be enough to help it. Mad Lions have found the play. They got themselves 2 kills for 1.
Team are fully committing towards
the setup. Kaiser will get in range for Humanoid. That exhaust again reduced a lot of that early damage.
Yeah, so I feel like Humanoid might have gone in just a little bit early because, as you saw, so much damage went onto him before Caps could be CC'd up by Kaiser. Notice there's also Mikhail's Crucible on Mickey X there and the cleanse from Caps, so it is very hard to lock that guy down. Thankfully, he was low enough because the burst damage the Caps is going off of those kills. He's even levels with the Olaf, but when you throw Humanoid into the mix, this LeBlanc is going to be able to put damage down onto Caps. Very low range ADC on this Vayne makes it easier for Humanoid to do things, but again, in the 1v1, I still don't think it's going to work. It has to be Humanoid and Shadow working together.
Well, we'll see if they can. As it stands, Jankos is going to find himself in engage. Gets the kick into Kaiser, but it won't really go very far. Oh, that went over the wall. Perks is in a little bit of trouble. He continues to chase down. So much damage onto Shadow. And the Perks will manage to help out the rest of the team.
G2 is trying to go in a straight 5v5 right down, force it down on towards Mad Lions there. And Mad Lions weren't able to find the angle. Up to the nice kick on towards Kaiser from Jankos, and then as we get into the dive, backline with Perks.
There we go.
Flips him on
missed
up
the
there.
Sand Soldiers.
Yeah, but they couldn't quite push him over the wall. The wall is way too big for that one. But as I was sort of talking about, you see the problem with fighting in that.
19 minutes into the game, 3 Drakes already, and I think a Cloud Drake, when you consider the movement speed in the CDR, is going to be so difficult for Mad Lions to deal with. They cannot concede Drake at number 4, or Rome, and he's still working to finish off that cull. A little bit behind the CSD, farming priority.
Says 45 if he's running into the inspiration tree there as well. So he's feeling very, very good. And this is a point in the game where he should be super, super strong and has to deliver in the fight. The problem is because Caps has been accelerated a little bit more than was anticipated in this game for Mad Lions, is that Mad don't have the clear-cut advantage at 2 items. So they're going to have to execute very, very well in this stage of the game in order to come back, because possibility when you have a minutes even around that soul.
We're pushing that mid tower, staring down a potential engage. They didn't care. They just stood firm, took the tower down. They now have the tower lead at 4-3. Wonder and Perks have done a good job of pushing up that bottom lane, and 1 and 2. 2 minutes to Cloud. So Ender, let's talk about the process. Let's watch Mad Lions and focus on how do they set up for this? Do they even want to fight it?
Chunk damage down, but the idea is here. They want to play around the bot side. They have deep vision in that jungle as well that G2 are going to have to try and clear out. Once they do get their resets off, the sweepers come back up and they can get through some of that. But one thing that was actually a problem for G2 in the Mad Lions series was actually when they had Lee Sin in the jungle, was that they only had 1 sweeper on their team. So there were a lot of wards that Aromi was able to find big TP flanks onto and find the ways into the back line. Now, on the GP, I don't think he's going to be looking for teleport flanks, but only having 1 sweeper will mean deep wards like the one in that bot side jungle are.
Rage Blade, Blade of the Rune King Vayne.
Look, Trevor, Humanoid's bot lane without a teleport. G2 full vision control of the top side jungle. It's an Olaf. How does this guy steal it?
Oh, I don't know how he gets in. He's got flash available to him. The blast cone has been popped. There's the cannon barrage already come down. Jankos has taken so much damage, though, inside the pit. That's the showstopper from Wonder. Kaiser is now taken up by Caps. They've traded for Jankos, but Arome's on the run. It's a double as Yumi flies into Wonder and will help take out Arome. Humanoid, you're late to the party, my friend. The last Mad Lion standing, and he will be chased away. He is going to flash to safety. 4 for 1, and the Baron.
But all they wanted was the fight right there. Everyone jumping over the wall to punish Mad Lions as they had to run in completely blind into the river. It's an excellent play from G2. They execute on it very, very well, and now they're going to go for the full commit as the suplex delivers Wonder while Cap splashes in to assassinate the Mad Lions backline right there too. The double kill and everything as Mad Lions are the first one around the pit.
Oh, they are indeed. The Zenith Blade, I think, just missed Perks, but Emperor's Divide would have saved him anyway. The engage comes in. Humanoid dashes forward. Perks still stays alive. Blast
and Jankos steal it
again.
Three
into the pit. Just 2, in fact, as Mickey goes to save Jankos. The Cloud Drake is available. 1500 HP. Perks is very, very low. But Caps as well as Wonder are holding off 4. The Soul Point is picked up by G2 eSports. The Mad Lions are being ripped apart. Kazi, however, on the back end fight will do some work. It's a 4 for 3, but they lose the soul.
Karzi was trying to play the fight of his life right there, but it's not enough in the end. Somehow Jankos returns at the end with 100% HP after being chunked out. He got healed, he jumped into the pit to find the steal, and now it's him and Mickey versus Shadow underneath the tower. It is not enough. They cannot be stopped, and G2 are running away with this game.
And the team is being crushed. We'll keep our eyes on Jankos. I think he gets so much healing from Mickey.
Yeah, so Mad Lions were trying to win the fight here, committing a lot towards perks, but not damaging the Dragon. So even though they do chunk out Jankos, and that was supposed to finish off the kill, he dashed away from the final skill shot from Carzzy, and then is able to return into the pit with the Q over the wall. Wonder doing so much work, just zoning into the backline, killing people while somehow surviving for a stupidly long amount of time. And now Caps is on the hunt. Arome versus... Oh, no.
Yeah, he's down. He's down 0-4-2. This Gangplank has not had a fun time. Admittedly, the game started to fall away from other lanes. So by the time Arome was allowed to play League of Legends, he was not particularly well set up for success. G2 eSports have opened this game extremely confidently. The first pick Uni and the second phase Vayne series.
Two Mad Lions here.
Caps and Jankos start to back away, but you got to be very, very careful.
On the siege as they get big damage down, though.
Yeah, they really do. This should be a counter kill, not just yet. Finally, Wonder goes down. Caps and Jankos start to back away, but you got to be very, very careful. That's a very fed Vayne. While that's going on, Humanoid, without that TP, continues to play the side lane. Folks will be chipping away at that inhibitor. G2 will at least open the doors to Mad Lion's base, but have not yet broken it apart.
Oh, no, not again!
Oh, this is a dead Gangplank. I mean, you just cannot get away from that. Actually, ironically, I think if Caps would build a Frozen Mallet, he could stick to people even closer. I learned a little bit from LEC Update. But now Caps and Mickey, you've bitten off a lot, but are not going to be able to take down 4 in total. Mickey will get dropped as well, donating 2 kills to the Mad Lions cause.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a G2 game without soon. So the goal...
I feel like G2 have done a lot of very good things this game, but I also feel that Mad Lions have to a similar degree, but, you know, G2 are just playing at a slightly higher level. You know, can you rate or review the overall performance of Mad Lions this game and you know, how they've opened the series?
So it's a really interesting question to me, because I feel like Mad Lions at times have been playing like at their peak, like very Humanoid leaves 5 kills, and now that is very unreal.
The Mad Lions, look, they're down 5k. They're going to deal with a 12, 3, and 4 Vayne that has a full item advantage over Carzzy. You know, Mercurial Scimitar as well as the Phantom Dancer to back it up. Perks
and a Cleanse and a McHale's, like, you can't CC the man.
And Yumi. The Jankos has got some support from the rest of the team. He's going to jump in onto Shadow, kick him back before the Ragnarok can be enabled. And here comes Caps. That's a chapter already locking down Arome. Got to find himself one. Flashing through the gate. Caps is tumbling and rolling around. Already used the flash. Exhaust is on cooldown. There's no tower, remember. And Caps will finally get taken out by Humanoid, but at the cost of his entire team. This could be the final fight. The inhibitor's going down. There are minions pouring through the mid lane. Humanoid, you need to get back to defend. He's got no TP. The recall will take 2 time. He's just conceding it. They've conceded it. Right, G2 eSports has smashed Mad Lions. 30 minutes on the clock, 23 kills underneath their belt. 19 of those 23 kills was thanks to Caps, Vayne, and 22 out of 23 to Mickey's Yumi. G2 opened the series 1-0.
Wow. You know, game 1 needed to be a statement from G2, and bringing out the Vayne absolutely was that. They crushed through that game. Caps looked near unstoppable in those fights, and now, like, you know, coming into this series, you're saying, hey, last time G2 had to scramble after game 1. Well, now it's Mad Lions that are going to have to be able to figure out some way to deal with this Vayne. I don't think you can ban the Vayne, but do you have to remove the Yumi? Then there's too many things you got to get rid of.
I mean, if you remove the Uni, in theory, it also reduces the priority on likes of Ezreal as well. So side selection is going to be very important. Mad Lions chose red side for this game. They will have side selection again for game 2 as they lost. But I want to see them tidy up some of those plays, because I really liked your summary, Ender. The ideas or the decisions were good, but then minor missteps in execution, that's kind of what allowed G2 to get their foot in the door. And that's all G2 needed to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, G2 said very clearly, we are going to play through this bottom lane, and Caps will reach that point of critical mass where you can't dive in and kill him anymore, and he's just going to 1v9 the game. And that point came at 8 minutes into the match. That was certainly unexpected, but it's a testament to how G2 were able to punish Mad Lions consistently through.